Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Rangers Review Transfer Special. In this video, we're going to look in detail at Jose Cordoba. It looks like he is closing in on a move to Ibrox from Bulgarian side Levski Sofia, and it brings me great delight to say we're joined on the line by Bulgarian football journalist Kai Iliev to discuss Jose in great detail. How's it going, Kai? Thank you for coming on.
Very good. All good. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, and yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Now, in terms of Levski Sofia as a football team, I know they were playing the other night there. What sort of season have they had in Bulgaria this season?
Their season has been shaky, to say the least. Because Levski, if you're not aware, they're having like a lot of troubles when it comes to financial investments. They recently also sacked their coach, like last year, if I'm not wrong. They're not like they did not win anything. The closest of the good thing that happened was the beginning of the season when they're about to qualify for Europe and then they lost to Eintracht Frankfurt. But generally, it's a very forgettable season.
Yeah. Okay. And of the players that they have at their disposal, Jose Cordoba, of course, from Panama. He's been there since. Well, he joined on loan, didn't he, initially, and then signed on a permanent basis. Has he attracted attention from clubs before now?
Yeah, he did indeed. I mean, it was pretty unexpected for him to come to Levski Sofia, but he settled very quickly there. And I think last months, I'm interested last 3-4 months, we've heard a lot of reports, mostly from Gong, which is like a pretty good, reliable website here in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
So we've heard certain French sides being interested. Obviously, now as you know, Rangers and Norwich are like the main candidates, but we've had quite a few sides being interested in Jose Cordoba.
Yeah, I seen a piece in that publication a couple of days ago about Norwich being interested in him as well. Is it true that it said that they were looking to offer Jose more money, but he'd already agreed to move to Scotland?
So yeah, there's indeed rumors that the contract would be higher there. But I see it very unlikely that he goes to Norwich, just because Rangers, of course, offers you European football. So there's that. And I think it makes more sense of a step to him. So looking at the situation from the Levski side, they don't have a lot to say. So I would assume he goes to Rangers. Norwich, I just think it's like trying to grab the deal last minute type of thing. I don't think it will materialize in any way.
Yeah, and of course they don't have a manager at this moment in time as well. It was an interesting bit of information that I read a couple of days ago. But yeah, certainly looks like he's on his way to Rangers. What sort of player is he, Kai? Is he? He is a defender first and foremost. What kind of centre half is he?
So he's left-footed and he's a left centre back. But for Levski, at least, when you look at the build-up, they don't really build up in a 4. They build up in a 3 like most modern sides nowadays. He usually plays as the left wide centre back when they're building gap. What type of player is he? Of course, he's a defender, but he's very young, actually. He's 22, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And he's someone that likes to anticipate a lot. He's more of what we call an aggressive defender. He's someone who's ready to jump out of his line, so to say, because he's very well built. He's not the tallest, but like in terms of aerial duels and just generally of intercepting the opponent, he's very good at it. I would say that is for sure his main strength. That's what really sets him apart because he's very smart. Unfortunately, on his weaknesses, he tends to foul a lot. And often for Levski, that's meant giving up free kick in dangerous positions. But generally, I think if you look at his general profile, it's mainly the fact that he defends really well. He reads the opponent. Essentially, he shuts down the attack before it happens. And that saved Levski a lot of points. So I think if Rangers, because unfortunately I don't have the time to watch Rangers very often, if they're looking for someone who really is very solid on a physical level, but also someone who is unafraid of going forward, someone
Mhm.
who's very aggressive, I would say even a leader of the back line, then he's definitely the right guy.
Yeah, Rangers are looking for someone, especially on the left-hand side in the defence. They have struggled to find a real dominant centre half in that area of the pitch. Is he comfortable on the ball then, Kai? You mentioned that he likes to come out from defence. Is he quite composed and good on the ball?
I would say he's definitely confident on the ball. If anything, he's sometimes too confident on the ball. So I think that his releasing of the pass is not optimal. I think that as a defender in the modern world, his cross-field passes are still lacking. But
Yeah.
generally, when it comes to breakthrough passes, when it comes to passes that essentially are more vertical, he's more than comfortable. So I would not worry about that. He's someone who also likes to dribble a lot. Again, sometimes because of his young age excessively, which sometimes does put him in danger. But I do think that that's something that can be coached out very easily. I think that's more of a byproduct of how superior he is on the physical level to the rest of the Bulgarian league.
Yeah. Now, I've seen in terms of his valuation and the price tag on his head, I've seen varying reports, but around, well, £3 million, around €3.5 million. Do you think that's a fair price for him?
I think that's fair in the modern market. I will not lie. I was surprised
Mhm.
because you don't, from the Bulgarian league, you don't get that's high money for us generally. And the
Okay.
fact that he's a defender did make me think. But looking at the general package and the fact he's only 22, and from what I've been seeing from reports, Rangers are trying to look for a mix between older guard and younger players.
Yeah.
I think it's a perfectly fair deal.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. And of course, as you touched on, 22 years of age, Rangers are trying to reduce their squad age and bring in younger, hungrier players and to kickstart.
I mean, the thing is like for him.
The player trading model to sell them on.
Sorry,
Yeah,
it
carry on.
lagged.
Yeah.
Sorry, it lagged. Can you repeat?
Yeah. I was going to say he is, as you said, 22 years of age. Rangers looking to bring in and reduce their squad age and bring in younger, hungrier players in the bid of hoping to get a couple of seasons, 2-3 seasons out of them before selling them on for a profit. Do you feel that he has the potential to even move on from Rangers to bigger and better things?
I think it's hard to say because adaptation between the leagues is very difficult to predict,
Yeah.
especially when it's such a big jump. Because I think it's a good jump for him, but it's undeniable that the coaching quality in the Scottish league and in the Bulgarian league is, I mean, it's miles ahead.
Mm.
So I don't know how quick he'll adapt, but the fact that he adapted from Eter Trnavo, which was a second league side, to Levski Sofia, which is a top three, top four side,
Hmm.
a few months, makes me think that I would not be worried about the adaptation. He might need a little while to readapt to the attackers because, of course, in Bulgaria, physical preparation is not amazing. So I think that on the physicality end, facing higher quality attackers will be something that will force him, to slow down for a while. But on the long term, I'm pretty confident he can. Whether he can move on to a higher league,
Hmm.
that really depends. Because it's hard to say because he's 22 years old.
Yeah.
So right now, I would say nothing says he couldn't. But where exactly his ceiling is very hard to say.
Yeah. And has he encountered any injuries? Rangers have been plagued with so many injuries, not just this season, but a number of seasons in recent years. Is he someone that has been injured in the past, or is he pretty robust and doesn't suffer many injuries?
No, not really. Like he's basically played every single match possible at Levski
Hmm.
since he
Yeah.
arrived. Like I'm not sure about the exact figures, but if I had a guess, he has had at least more than 50 appearances this season alone, probably.
Yeah.
So like I would not worry about it. In fact, he was chosen this year's of the league the best defender of the Liga. So availability, at least in Levski Sofia, was never a problem.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear. And before we let you go, Kai, and is there any other players you think that clubs like Rangers or elsewhere should be looking at in the Bulgarian league? Any top talent in that division?
It's hard to say because, again, I'm not exactly familiar with what are your needs on the transfer market.
Yeah.
So depending on what position you need, I think it's really hard to say because we don't really have that many bright talents that I would say are ready to make the jump.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, the way the Bulgarian league stands as of now is very low. So usually even the jump to our neighbors is usually fine, but anything else requires usually some time. And we have not seen really someone succeed abroad in a very long time. So, I mean, I think it might be possible, but I don't really see any transfer targets that like come to my mind as you should buy them.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That nice, honest answer. I appreciate that, Kai. But yeah, it's been great having a chat with you on Jose Cordoba. I was going to ask as you mentioned there, he's a bit rash in the challenge and commits
Yes.
mistimes his tackles. Is he someone that picks up red cards now and again?
To my memory, he has not had red cards, but he tends to not yellows, but to provoke that free kick that is, in danger zone, so to say, in front of the penalty box.
Yeah. And you mentioned he made that jump from the small club in Bulgaria to Levski, going to Rangers with the demands placed upon every player there to win every single game. Do you think he's got the mentality to cope with that pressure and to thrive in that environment?
I think so because I've kind of mentioned it, but he's a natural leader to me because he's actually one of the youngest that actually had the opportunity to be a proper leader on the pitch. Levski Sofia, which is usually fairly rare in the club. So I will not be worried because for me, he's one of these players that, because of the way he plays on the pitch, which is a fairly aggressive, proactive, very initiative-based way, he naturally leads because whenever he finds these interceptions that are crucial, it usually sends up a wake-up call to his teammates. Yeah. So leadership is not something I'll be worried about in his case. If anything, I think he's a very good leader despite his young age.
Yeah. Excellent. Fantastic. Well, it's been great having you on, Kai. Thank you very much for coming on the show and giving us a bit of insight into Jose Cordoba. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
There you go, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed that. A bit of insight into Ibrox-bound Jose Cordoba. Bye for now.